I'm Harry Acanero, representative in Laconia, New Hampshire, and this is...
I'm Lori Pettengill. I'm a state representative for Carroll 1, which is the Mount Washington Valley.
And I'm Larry Rappaport. I'm a representative in Coas 1, which is the most extreme northern part of New Hampshire. A little news conference was reported in literally all over the place. And I think we got a pretty fair treatment from the Union Leader. That's a statewide newspaper. But we got a, let's say, less than fair treatment from two other big newspapers, the National Telegraph and the Concord Monitor. And I'm told, a friend of mine told me last night that we were on CBS News, and they did a fair reporting job, which really impressed me because I would never have thought that they would, but they did. And of course, I haven't seen it, but this is all secondhand. And New Hampshire PBS covered us also. And apparently, they did a very fair treatment too, which also surprised me.
Well, not there.
Oh yeah, and naturally, WorldNet Daily and Newsmax were both there. They did a pretty good job of covering us, and their coverage was almost too nice.
Okay.
The Attorney General told us that he thought it was a federal matter. And at the time, I remember saying to him, well, it was the people of New Hampshire that were defrauded. We're not talking about the federal part of this. So he said that he didn't think so, and he has what's known as prosecutorial discretion, so he chose not to do it. In New Hampshire, now this was not in the affidavit, two of the ballot law commissioners, there's a law that says that a ballot law commissioner cannot make political contributions. Well, two of them did, and they've been reported by the Democratic Party because all contributions have to be listed. And so we have pretty good proof that that they broke the law.
Larry and Lou and Carol Vita put those papers in to the Attorney General's office, all notified, to right before we had our press release.
Yeah, that was on Tuesday morning.
On Tuesday morning, right before our press release. And so the press release really was to once again say, we have every right to challenge the name of this person on a ballot under the guise that he's not a natural-born citizen. And the booklet that I put together basically states it is all in the power of this. And I think probably the Attorney General understands that too. The book basically has in the beginning, it shows the nominations by primary, the statute of what you sign when you sign on to be on the ballot. And it says no persons except a natural-born citizen gets on the ballot. And it clearly says that on both the types of ballots, the type of ballot by nomination or the type of ballot by petition. And then we go to the section of Help America Vote Act of 2002, and in that we find that this section, that I didn't bring my glasses in, establishment of state administrative complaint procedures to remedy grievances. Now that basically is the statute, federal statute that says the state would provide a way to resolve grievances. So certainly our Secretary of State does have that plan, and that is listed in here, and it tells you the whole procedure for hearing grievances. And it also has a complaint form that you can fill out, which I think that's what you probably did originally. And, because you had a grievance. the person that was in the White House was eligible or not. Well, now that we have an election coming up, we have people's names getting on ballots, and we needed to make sure that the people whose names were on ballots were constitutionally eligible. If that's important to us. Republican, we don't care about that. We just want them to be constitutionally eligible. So anyways, we have this provision for purity of elections, administrative complaint procedures, and this is right off from that state. It's a statute for the state, and it says that the Attorney General may implement may use the Ballot Law Commission. They may be designated as the body providing alternative dispute resolution as required by the Help America Vote. Brings it right back to that. So clearly, the state at this level, the Ballot Law Commission right now is who was supposed to be hearing this. Now, on the statute, the jurisdiction of the Ballot Law Commission, it says administrative complaint resolution. The Ballot Law Commission shall hear and resolve complaints of federal voting law violations pursuant to the Help America Vote Act. Once again. And then it says the general provisions of the Ballot Law Commission, and one is filing disputes. The Ballot Law Commission shall hear and determine disputes arising over whether nomination papers or declaration of candidacy filed with the Secretary of State conform with the law. The decision of the Ballot Law Commission in such cases will be final as to question both the law and fact. We haven't seen yet from the Ballot Law Commission their final fact, which they really need to show us.
Yeah, you see where they're trying to disenfranchise the people of New Hampshire by trying to sweep this on the rug and saying that it's not in their jurisdiction. But clearly it was.
It is. It is totally their responsibility.
Not only that, but they have done this twice before.
Right.
This is important because if they claim that it's not in their jurisdiction, one could ask, well, then how come you did it twice, actually 10 times before, but twice in the case of presidential candidate?
Yes, we have them right here, and we'll show you.
Well, we have precedents of what the Ballot Law Commission can do, and that is when we had some local reps who people had filed a challenge of their candidacy, and basically there's the Ballot Law Commission, and this has the findings of fact, and that's what we need to see from the Ballot Law Commission regarding Orly Tates's 85-page document that you know what if they looked at her finding of facts and what they came up with, because they really that was their duty. That was their duty. Each document that you know what if they looked at her finding of facts and what they came up with, because they really that was their duty. That was their duty. And so then they do the rulings of law, allows a person to be printed as a candidate for a party only if that individual is a registered member of that party and meets all other qualifications at the time of filing. And when they said that, that's like obviously for these people, it meant that maybe somebody was registered as a Republican but was running as a Democrat, you know, there was an error in the town clerk's office, there was all kinds of things. But they looked really deeply into it, and they came up with they resolved it, because that is their job, to resolve it. So, and it's not because they resolved it and we don't like the conclusion, it's that we didn't hear of the fact of findings, and we have no conclusion. We have no justification.
Just remember, they took a 5-minute recess after over an hour of testimony, and it was pre-arranged anyway. And they went in and said, and came out 5 minutes later and say, we have no findings, it's not a jurisdiction, and under oath. Not only the Secretary of State, Assistant Secretary of State was under oath. So were the Ballot Law Committee, because they were all lawyers, and the lawyer for the Ballot Law Commission and the Assistant Attorney General. So they all agreed, and we even read part of the statute that said they don't have the jurisdiction. They did not read the whole thing or go into it. And clearly, as we go on, you'll see where they had done it at least twice or presidential candidates because they were not natural-born citizens.
We firmly believe that it's the foundation of the United States, and no part of it is, if you want to make a change, the framers of the Constitution gave us a way to do that through the amendment process, and Lord knows there's been a whole bunch of amendments. But personally, this is just me, what I'm concerned about is I think that they're trying to get rid of the Constitution, and this is the first step. And later they're going to say something else, and they're going to ignore it. Right now, if you look at what our government has done, how much of it is authorized by the Constitution? The Constitution says that the federal government has specific powers, and everything else is relegated to the states. Well, if you look at a lot of things, Obamacare obviously sticks out, but even Social Security sticks out. That's not expressed in the Constitution. The Constitution did not say that. So a lot of things have been added over the years. It's not just one person, but this is the first person to do something which is expressly forbidden by the Constitution.
The camel's nose under the tent.
That's right.
And then you see every day in the news, just recently, he just throws Congress aside, and they allow him to be thrown aside, and takes their power. And he doesn't care. He throws it in the face of Congress and the American people that he is going to do what he wants. Now, all of this can avoid by executive order and all of his czars. Now, all of this could have been avoided back in 2008 when Nancy Pelosi, when she signed the DNC, right? She signed off on it and said that he was eligible.
Constitutionally
eligible, and I'm sure she knew that he was not. But because they did that, and this has really never happened before, everyone fell in line, and nobody noticed, and this man is occupying the White House right now. Now we've learned from it. So now we can do something to alert the people and to try and stop this man from stealing the White House again.
But for fear of perjury charges, I'm sure that's why she did this. She only wrote that he was constitutionally eligible in Hawaii, but it was taken off for all the other states.
That's right.
Yes.
And Nancy doesn't want to spend any time in jail, so, I mean, how convenient. But, you know...
Well, I think she should be in a gated
It's amazing.
community.
I think she'd be in an orange suit, beautiful orange suit.
Yeah, thanks.
But anyways, we digress. But yeah, so her DNC nomination paper, and basically all the states just fell in like he said, like dominoes, just fell into line, and just said, oh, he's eligible. Yeah, what do you mean? You know, so I think that our state definitely has jurisdiction for this,
yeah,
and
we do.
I think that
I don't think there's any question.
there's no question at all. And I think that anybody that watches this at the end of this needs to get their original ballot statute and see if that natural born citizen clause is on there, and present that and say, hey, gee, we have this natural born citizen clause, and then find their statutes for resolution of conflicts of anybody who's challenged. If you're challenging it, have your resolution, your ways of resolution in your state ready and on hand, so they can't say to you, we don't have jurisdiction, and you'll say, well, yeah, you do. See this?
Do your homework. Do your homework and get your ducks in order.
Right.
And we will be following up once we meet with the speaker tomorrow and present him with this and see what he comes back with, or we'll have to take the next step, because we started something, and it's on behalf of the people of New Hampshire, but also on the people of the United States, because all these other states are doing the same thing. So whatever we can do to help them, where we have made mistakes or we have found information that will be helpful, we want to get in touch with them and let them know this is what they can do to make their life a little bit easier.
Right.